Okay, people. About to get it ugly. Come chat is who I be. Monday nights at 9, come see what people are talking about. Show is fire, it's got a lot of clout. Critiquing movies is what I do. My favorite topic is the MCU. 6 questions, 10 minutes each. I try to break it down, I try to teach. To the people that's feeling my vibe, come check out the greatest show alive. So sit back, enjoy the show, and like the Joker says, and here we go. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Khaotic Conversation. Don't miss it. Do not miss it. Peace.
What up, what up, what up? It is Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is the place to be, Chaos Central Network, and here is the Chaotic Conversation. In the house, we got the usual suspects, my main man to my right, also a bigger for entertainment. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
All right, I can't make no fuss, but I could make a fuss, but I ain't gonna fucking make no fuss. I ain't gonna sound like no fucking old dirty. But I'm just gonna say this.
I know why you're gonna make the fuss, because Aaron Rodgers
sucks. The NFL this year fucking sucks.
What are you talking about? It's crazy this year.
The NFL this year fucking sucks. Okay? It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. I didn't kick Hans off, so I don't know why he got off, but that wasn't me. But the NFL this year fucking sucks. The only thing I will say is that the Sunday night game between Kansas City and Bills was probably the best game of the season. I will give it that. Other than that, everything else sucks about this season.
I watched that damn thing and I was like 13 seconds, man. I was like, holy shit.
But Chris, what's going on with you, bro?
Other than a heart attack last night, not much. Did another Gospel According to Chris tonight with Darius Munchausen. He hopefully will be going live here soon. I encourage everybody to stay here, but he'll be on later. And hopefully I'll go over there and check him out then. But getting back to that, got a lot of you guys on the Wheel of Names. If you guys would like to be on the Wheel of Names for the Gospel According to Chris, which is a one-on-one interview show, by all means, please DM me. I'll put you on that and we'll get to you. I like to have anybody and everybody on there. It doesn't matter how many people you got. You don't even have to technically have a channel. If you just go on live streams and you're part of the community, I want to talk to you. I want to get people to get you to know you, and that's what the show is all about. This week, hopefully tomorrow, depending on if I can get the script written or not, there will be another rant tomorrow. That depends, because lots of times I'll write the script, send it over to the ego. The ego will say, "Fuck you, I hate this thing." Rip it up. The ego's a prima donna. So
you don't say.
Anyways, yeah, I do say it, but anyways. Then we'll have a Night Rider this week. We'll have a gaming stream this week. We're back to Cards Against Humanity over on TWTG's content Chris's channel. Of course, the Boba Fett Roundtable on Sundays. Weekly wrap up on Sundays. We're ramping it back up, guys. I will show you this right here. This is my week. It's really hard to see, but that's all the things going on this week. Just so you know. I mean, lots of stuff to go on, lots of stuff to watch. 3 nights a week here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Check it out.
Good deal. Next is Terrence of T-Virus. What's going on with you, bro?
Terrence, you're muted.
You there? You're muted if you can hear us.
Hello, brother. I'm okay. How are you doing? Wanted to let you know and let everyone on the panel know that a few days ago, my channel has surpassed my other channel, Tremaine Terrence, that I have with my brother.
Good deal. That's awesome, bro.
And I remember that other channel, I was with my brother for almost 10 years. So it's interesting that I've managed to do it in significantly less time. And the overall channel views is a lot higher as well at over 3.5 million views for the overall
Damn.
channel. Um, so that's cool. I got a notification for it. It was letting me know that the viewers were higher over the overall channel, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Um, I just like to have fun, so it's cool when that happens, especially when initially, remember Danny, you were like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna have your own channel? And I had a lot of humans asking me that. While I also had some humans saying that they didn't think I could do it. So it was just interesting how everything played out. So just wanted to let you know.
Good stuff, man.
That is awesome, bro. Very awesome, man. I'm proud of you. Glad you were able to do that. And last but not least is Guy Scott. What's going on with you, bro?
Not much, man. Monday, busy day, work, YouTube life. Jumping on. Thanks for having me. Got our show on Wednesday. So yeah.
How far you and
Taking
Alonzo
it easy.
live from each other?
Me and Oz, about, I guess if he lives in the same place that I went before, around 15 minutes, about
No,
15 minutes.
He lost power. That's why he was off.
Oh, he did? Fuck.
So he gonna try to come on his phone. If he does, I'll bring him on. There you go, right here. What's up, bro?
There
Can
you
you
go.
hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, might be an echo, and I don't know how long I can stay because this shit is using up my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we want to get on board. We'll let you go first with all the questions. The first question is: do you think Boba Fett is getting better or worse?
Really, really, it's getting worse. It's trash. Every episode gets worse and worse, man.
Oh
So
my God! You know good and
yeah,
well this episode is better than the first episode.
it was an okay episode, but it's still trash. The show is just not good at all. So
Okay.
I'm not excited for the ones coming up.
All right. Chris, show's getting better or worse in your opinion?
While I understand some of the things that Anzo does not like about the show, I will not lie. Man, Boba Fett should be a hell of a lot more badass. Um, there are a lot of things that I think are being done wrong, but the overall concept of what's underneath there, I like. I think it got better this past week. We'll have to see. I'm not going to say it's getting better because it got better for 1 week. We'll see what happens this next week. We'll see if they could. Because if you remember back to the Mandalorian was similar at times. It like hit this dead spot, and it's like, what are we doing here? While I liked the whole prison one because it was funny and stuff. I don't that one kind of was like off to me, even though it was probably one of the more fun episodes. But yeah, no, I think it's getting better, but right now it got better for an episode. So that's where I'll stay with it right now.
Okay. Guys, what you think? Better or worse?
It was definitely a better episode, but it's still all over the place in writing and everything like that. Here's for hoping, basically. If you have hope, then people will continue watching.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You got the other fan base that just doesn't want to deal with it because they feel like they were duped of the type of Boba Fett they expected. We got a glimpse of it on the last episode, which was good to see when he, overkilled them with the slave one, right? The bikers, but need to see more of that. See what happens in the last. What we got? That was episode 4. We got 3 more episodes to see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, Terrence, what do you think? Is it getting better or worse?
To me, the show is just kind of staying in the middle. Like it's just okay. Like to me, it hasn't gotten better or worse. Out of the bunch of episodes, I think episode 2 is the best one from a storytelling perspective. But to me, it's just okay. I'm gonna watch the rest of the show because I do like the Boba Fett character, but I find myself waiting for him to be much more aggressive because I was concerned initially when he was saying that he's gonna rule with respect, And I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, you better not turn into no bitch on me. Like I don't want to see that. Like you need to understand that you should have both fear and respect, because if you don't, then I'm gonna see what I've been watching, which is him being disrespected and not being taken seriously, and you essentially have to work harder when you could have avoided that by snapping some necks in that first episode. So to me,
Mhm.
it's just as a show, when I step outside of myself, regardless of my own preferences, I think it's just okay. And for us to have an okay Star Wars show after what we got with the Mandalorian, I think is a step back, but I don't consider it to be bad though.
Okay. I'm agree more with what Terrence said. I really like the show. I really like this. I'm not pissed off or mad or disappointed in the way they're portraying Boba Fett. I will say they are being a little redundant with some things, in particular the back to tank. I know that's pissed off some people, but it really doesn't bother me. I will say what bothers me is when they show more flashback in real life. I will give you that. I think it was episode 2. Where it was like 30 minutes of flashback and then maybe 15 minutes of real time. They need to change that formula, change that percentage. It should always be more real time than flashbacks. This last episode, I really didn't care for. I think people are naming it Cyberpunk, where he went and showed how they um,
Mhm.
fix. I can't think of her name.
Fennec.
Finnick. Um, that didn't feel Star Warsy to me. Just a little gripe, but I do think it's getting better. And I think these last 2 episodes are going to be better. I think Shifty Jism, not Shifty, but Austin said it better, I think, or said it best, that I believe this next episode is going to be kind of me-ish, some along the same lines of this fourth episode. I think 5 or 6 and 7 are definitely going to pick up. If we see Luke or if we see Han, anybody of that caliber character, it's going to greatly elevate this. So I think that's the formula they're using, man, to try and come out slow or slow pacing, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it. They have the big finale at the end, kind of like if you remember the first season of Mandalorian, you saw Moff Gideon with the dark saber went off on a high note, and we saw Luke Skywalker, of course, last season. So I think we're going to see something like along those lines. They already played the Mandalorian theme, so we'll possibly see Mando. So I think it's going to be all right. I am um I can definitely expect and would like to see better, but I'm content with what we got now. And basically now, if you remember, we criticize, when I say we YouTubers, we criticize Disney for not having material to put on DC Plus when it first came out. Why did they do this? Now they're giving us something every other month, 2 months at the most. And so we can't complain too much. Is it what some of us want to see? Of course not. But is it totally trash like some people are saying it is? I'm not going to classify it as trash. I'm just not. I've seen worse. I've seen better. But I'm so far with it. I'm cool with how it is. So, first topic. Second topic is, what are your top 3 MCU movies? Based on the 25, 26, 27, whatever number it is, I lost count. What in your mind are your top 3? And we're going to go with Terrence first.
That's a great question, Danny. Um, I've seen all these films many times, so I guess off the top of my head, the top three would probably be in no particular order would be Avengers Infinity War, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and I guess I'll go with No Way Home. Those would be the three.
Okay. I'm going to go next, and I got the exact same 3. Exact same 3. In no particular order, but I had those exact same 3. Guy Scar, what are your 3?
Which ones?
Infinity War, Winter Soldier, and No Way Home.
Yeah,
I
Danny
have,
and I have the same 3.
I have Infinity War, No Way Home, and Civil War.
Okay.
So the same ones? Or no, you had Civil War.
That's Civil War.
They had Winter Soldier.
All right.
I had to throw one in there that was different, and I knew it would be different from anybody else's. While I love the Winter Soldier, I mean, it's really hard. I think that when you get to that third one, that you start splitting hairs. And like for me, most of these, and I think Terrence is the same way as I am. It depends on what day you catch me on. Like maybe I just watched one last week. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this part, and I really like those, and whatever it may be. But today, to answer that question, I'll say No Way Home, Infinity War, and Iron Man.
Okay.
Iron Man mostly because thinking back when it first was getting ready to come out, we heard, Robert Downey Jr. doing it. Robert Downey Jr. had a few movies he'd come back out with, and he was starting to get his career in place again. But when you think about all of the stuff leading up to that movie, and people kind of looking at it going like, what the hell are they thinking? Iron Man, what? And then after that came out, and you go back and you watch it now, it's like, it's still it's kind of low budget, and it's weird when you watch it. You're like, wow. You see some of those special effects and how they did little tweaks with the cameras and did things to cheapen it up, but it looks good still. It's amazing because when you think about it, that's what started everything. If that one had bombed, who cares about Infinity War? Who cares about No Way Home? Nobody would have ever seen those movies. Iron Man had to happen, and it had to hit, and it did. And I think still to this day, it's one of the best ones that they've done.
All right. I'm going to go back. I'm going to ask a different question on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm going to start with Terrence. What are your worst three MCU movies, Terrence?
Three in no particular order. Captain Marvel is one of them. Thor: The Dark World, and I guess I can go with probably that second Ant-Man movie.
Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah, probably go with that one.
Okay, I'm gonna go low. We almost like again, Terrence. Cap Marvel, Thor 2. I put Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That you know what, Danny? That was one of them, but I had to narrow it down to three. So yeah, all pretty much the same again.
Yep. Guys, go.
My bottom one is Eternals. Second to last. I'm sorry. I watched Eternals again, and that shit
I forgot about it.
Guyscar, if it was a top 5, that would definitely be in there for sure.
Yeah. So Eternals, Captain Marvel, and Iron Man 3.
Some parts of Iron Man 3 I love. The
Mm-hmm.
scene where he saved the people off the airplane,
and
he was in the controlling the suit.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, okay. Iron Man 3 has some cool moments in it, but the storytelling is weak, and I don't know how they ruined a villain twice in the same movie, but that stuff too.
Exactly. And Shang-Chi is the only one that kind of, for some people, actually make them like the movie now because of Shang-Chi and connecting the whole, Mandarin.
That's interesting that you say that, Guyscar, because after seeing Shang-Chi, which I thought was really well done, I still don't like Iron Man 3. If anything, it just reminded me of why you shouldn't do stuff like that, because they essentially had to course correct with the Mandarin, and you wouldn't have to do that if you would have just did them right. But I think the course correction worked. But I still look at it the way it is.
Oh my! You don't like the Hulk?
And the Incredible Hulk?
Man, the Hulk with Abomination, man, that was a killer scene to me.
The Incredible Hulk. The Hulk was not an MCU movie. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Even though,
yeah.
I think he means the Incredible Hulk, though. I don't think he means the Ang Lee shit.
yeah. The Ang Lee one was weak, even though it has some cool scenes. But like the Incredible Hulk, though, I like. Uh,
Mhm.
did somebody say I didn't like Incredible Hulk?
No,
Was
no,
that?
no.
No,
Jason
somebody
Lee.
put in the chat.
Oh,
Elon Musk said the worst was Thor, Ragnarok, Iron Man 3, Incredible Hulk. Shit
I
to
I
Jim.
actually I actually think the Incredible Hulk is terribly underrated. But
I agree too. Shoot
I
Jim
watched it
said,
the other day, and yeah, I think I think they need to get back on it with Hulk. They need to get into another standalone.
worst MCU for Shifty Jism is Thor 2, Iron Man 2, and Captain Marvel.
Hmm.
For Dayland Fluff, the worst was she really don't have any. I enjoy them all at least a little bit. Okay.
Well, I do too. I mean, but we're going here off of subjective.
That's so
yeah.
Canadian of her. I like them
Yeah,
all a
it
little
is.
bit.
G Midget said
Mine.
Thor 2, Iron 3. I'm gonna get to you, Chris. Thor 2,
Oh,
Iron Man 3, Ant Man 2. I'm gonna get to you.
no, you're fine.
That's one. Austin said Ant Man 3 and the Wasp, Eternals, and Captain Marvel. All right, Chris, what are your three? Least favorite.
Thor, Dark World. Even though I do like the Dark World, that's the thing. But when I look at the quality, or when I look at everything, I'm looking at this for several things. One, how well does it fit in within that MCU feel? And Thor: Dark World does not feel like an MCU movie at all. The first one kind of does, but not. The Dark World really just takes a turn away. It's like its own standalone movie. You can throw it out, and it really won't hurt anything, unless with Love and Thunder, I think they might bring in the Dark World stuff again, because she had the ether in her that perhaps that caused cancer or something. Perhaps. I mean, so they might try to reconnect the Dark World, but I don't know. Eternals, definitely the Eternals. While I didn't hate it, and it's not a horrible movie, it just has it's like, again, it just doesn't feel like it connects. Now, maybe later on down the line, they'll figure out a way to make it connect, and I'll think better of it. I know if what I read is true, they're already greenlighting a second one.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm not sure where they're going to
that's
go with that.
unfortunate.
Well, and the thing is when you leave it with the Celestial just standing out of it's like, I don't know. Anyways, it's definitely in that lower three. And then last is Captain Marvel. While I don't hate Captain Marvel, it feels clunky, and I hate the way they portray Nick Fury. I think Nick Fury is just like all these movies, he's this badass, and then this one, he's just kind of he's like being tugged along like a little puppy, and
Because he's
everything
first
is
starting out.
well, yeah, fine, but when he shows up the first time, he does kind of act like he's a badass still, and he's like, I'm gonna go figure this out. And then it's like, now everything you find out that he's done all this time in the MCU was only because of Captain Marvel, the name of the projects, this and that. It's like,
Well, the fascinating thing about Fury in the comics is that at any given point, he's a badass, and he just gets more badass over time.
mhm.
So I'm not mad at Samuel Jackson. It's just that
No,
it's odd. It's odd to me how I counted 9 things that they ruined in Captain Marvel.
Right.
That's insane.
yeah. So I
It
mean,
didn't. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Didn't in the comic books, Terrence, correct me if I'm wrong, he took some kind of formula, not super soldier, but it kind of like keeps him from aging.
Yes, he
Like,
did. Like when he was doing his shield stuff, he took a formula that slowed his aging, and even at another point, he tampered with not like a super soldier serum, but it was to enhance his strength just a little bit, because he was trying to make sure that he can hang with the Avengers in them just a little bit if he were to get attacked by Skrulls or whatever, so have you. So
it's like
Nick
it was
Fury
something
has
called
definitely experimented on his body.
the legacy. Something was called legacy serum or something like that.
Yeah. He definitely experimented on himself for sure.
Yeah,
But
that's what I thought.
to the surprise of the other characters too. So that's where a lot of the mistrust came, because they didn't know what he was using, what he knew about. It's just all kinds of crazy stuff. But Nick Fury has always been very intelligent. and very badass. It seemed like the more special individuals that he would meet and deal with, then the more he upped his own game, which made him impressive as a character.
Okay.
Yep.
Good deal.
Well said.
Now, third question. Let me see. I want to make sure. Third topic is, what would you like to see next in the Star Wars far as movies on the big screen? Would you like to see a movie that's going to center around the Sith, or a movie that's going to center around on what we already seen, more of the Jedi? Scar, you can go first.
I have to tell you, man, it's definitely Old Republic. Get those, forget about the rule of two. Bring in multiple Sith Lords, bunch of red lightsabers. That's the way to go. The fanfare is there for the Old Republic, so definitely bring in Revan, Malik, and those EU characters. Now that Revan has been, hinted as canon in the cartoons, and so definitely will be cool to see. And if you want to see a good glimpse of what it could be, definitely check out the cinematic trailer for Knights of the Old Republic video game. It's called Deceived. Look for that cinematic, and yeah, you're going to be wanting to see a lot of Sith after that, because that's a hell of a story. Even the book Deceived is amazing.
Okay. All right. Chris, what would you like to see? Stories more based around the Sith and based around another Jedi?
I'm with
right here, these guys.
Yeah, I'm with Geisker. I think it needs to be a little bit of the combination. You can show. I think something that was Old Republic that shows how we got to the rule of two, and end at where the Sith decides rule of two is how it goes. They go into hiding because the way we listen to this, the way we listen to this in the movies, George Lucas gave us a very definite time of the prequels because they make mention when they start finding out that there's these names being thrown out, and they're like, the Sith, they haven't been around in a long time. Like they're trying to really get an idea: is this really the Sith? And so there's a big gap there, but it'd be nice to see the beginning of that gap, like where they decided they're going to this rule of two, and then they kind of go into hiding, and they're very shadowy. It isn't until the Emperor comes out, and actually Darth Plagueis is the first one that actually starts coming forward and bringing light, or bringing the Sith back, like coming back out and doing things. And then it's Sidious, of course, that kills Plagueis, and then he basically takes over, and he, for lack of a better word, he brings the Sith into the light. He lets people see, look, we're here, we're in charge. And he does it in such a way that most people give into it, thinking this guy's such a great guy. I mean, and then for all the faults I think the prequels had, they do a masterful job of seeing how somebody in the position that Sidious was in could change an overall republic. And they're thinking we're doing the right thing, and then by the time it's too late because they take over. So I'm with him. The whole Old Republic thing and the big Sith civil war, for lack of a better term, those things are really awesome to see on screen.
It's so cool. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't want to see that?
But like I said, I almost would prefer they do the Disney Plus stuff where you do one season of a Jedi, or like one episode of a Jedi, one episode of a Sith, and go back and forth and call it Jedi Sith, and build up people's knowledge, and then give them like the Old Republic.
You even have Darth Malgus there.
Mm-hmm. But you said Revan, didn't you?
Yeah, Revan.
Revan's awesome.
Revan Malik. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I read the Darth Bane, the Ruler 2 novels. I read that.
Mhm.
And if they do that, and they can cherry pick from it, but if they just kind of remotely play around that, it could be fantastic because he was had very humble beginnings. I think he worked in like the equivalent of a coal mine,
Mhm.
but he was just kind of lucky with card games. And then somebody realized he was force sensitive, and man, his master was very cruel, very cruel. But if they was to do that and just loosely based it on that novel, it would be awesome. So I definitely wish they would.
So,
My vote is to be Sith. I want to. I'm tired of hearing the Jedi stories. I want to see a completely dark um,
Mhm.
Sith movie where they went to like the Civil War and then where he fooled them to kill all themselves, and then he came up with using the terminology Darth because he I think like a Sith holocron, got all that knowledge and started, and then he implemented the ruler too because he saw that it was so
chaotic.
untrustworthy and calculated and like a snake pit that it would kill
Mhm.
themselves. So that is why he made a ruler too, and I would love to see that story. Terrence, what do you think, bro?
I think they should do something centered around the Sith, and have a whole bunch of them in the same movie. I think that'd be pretty cool because we have gotten a lot of the Jedi with some, little inklings of the Sith spread out throughout all the films. But I think that having a project focused on the bad guys, if you will be something that we haven't seen before. So for someone like myself, I'm not too familiar with like the comics, the books, and the games. I never dabbled in that. I just only watched the movies, and even the animation to a large degree. Haven't dabbled in that much. So to me, a lot of that stuff will be fresh, and I think there are more individuals out there in my position of wanting something different, and I think that that would be the direction to go to kind of make things feel fresh and to give the fan base something that is inherently different because you need that with all the divide in the fan base. You need something where they can kind of come back together and go, you know what, like we support this because it's different enough to where we can at least put some faith into this first idea that you have. And then once they have them from there, it's important to knock it out of the box. Like you have to treat it as if you're not going to be able to make any Star Wars films. Like this is your one and only shot. You make sure you deliver something great and somehow get the audience to feel at the same time as of being terrified to feel sympathetic towards all those villains that they would essentially be seeing on screen. And I think you need some really talented writers to do something like that.
I agree. I'm kind of spin off on this question I'm gonna ask now. Would you want to see like maybe a origin story of characters we already know? And I will say some in particular. Like, would you want to see an origin story of Yoda, like when he was a young Yoda? Would you want to see? I would want to see personally Darth Vader from the time that he first becomes Darth Vader to just before he meets Luke. I don't
Mhm.
see nothing about Luke. I just want to see his escapades and what he did from becoming Darth Vader to maybe a year or two before we even get introduced to Luke Skywalker. Because I was watching on Disney Plus a couple days ago, they got a clip on that shows the upcoming Obi Wan, and Ewan McGregor. He alludes to them fighting on in this. He said that they're gonna face each other again. So I think in Obi Wan we're gonna see him and Darth Vader fighting. And I'm not sure how that's gonna work because I think there was a question about when he says in New Hope when we lost last met, I was only the learner, and now I am the student, or I'm the master, or,
Yeah.
or something to that effect. So you're gonna have to tie it in so it don't mess that up. But based on what I saw, if you got Disney Plus, go and check it out. Get show a little behind the story, behind the clip of Obi Wan and Ewan McGregor. He definitely kind of hints that him and Vader are going to see each other in that show.
To answer your question, for the most part, I'm open to almost everything as long as when they are announcing these projects, as long as I get the idea that they are putting character and story first and that they care about the characters that they're presenting. Like as long as they let me know those things, then I'm like, okay, I'm open to it because I have more faith that they're going to tell a good story and not try to utilize the brand to, do some weird, silly shit and mess everything up. Like they're not really in a position to do any more of that. Like now's the time to make less mistakes, not more.
I agree.
While you
this is crazy.
rested in your cradle of power, believing your people were safe and protected. You were trusted to lead the Republic, but you were deceived. As finally, we have returned.
I don't want to get
Hold on.
strikes, but I've seen that several times, Guy Scar. If they do that, that would be awesome.
Also,
crazy.
I wouldn't mind seeing what you had mentioned before, Danny, about the Yoda, like a Yoda series or movie centered around him.
Yeah.
Because with how long he's been alive, I feel like that would connect us to a lot of the darker characters as well. Like I'm assuming that he's seen and met the best of them, so like that could be intriguing too.
Mm-hmm.
And also we know that Yoda has played with the dark side,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? So they'll be curious to see what that part of his history would be really interesting to see.
And I'm not sure if it's canon or not, but I've read a book too where Luke went on the dark side too to learn the dark side. So he was a. I'm not saying a Sith, but
Yoda did it once.
The dark side. Luke did
Yoda
to study. So I wouldn't mind seeing. I don't want to see no more Skywalker stuff. I really don't. But I wouldn't mind seeing Yoda stuff. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a young Mace Windu, and some of the other more senior Jedi, I guess, would be good. But I'm a little bit burnt out with the Skywalkers.
You know what, Danny? Actually, I think that while I like the Yoda idea, right? I think what they probably should do is use him as a backdoor because, like how you said, you're tired of the Skywalker stuff. I think getting away from the familiar is a great option, and then you can kind of circle back around through the back door and then do something great with Yoda. Something that can expand upon the fresh stuff that you're introducing with the
he's
Sith.
like what 800 something years old. So man, you could go way back.
Right.
He was 900, I think.
Yeah, he's up there in age, but I know that with that length of time, that's a lot of storytelling.
Because I believe he says when 900 years you look or something like that. I think
when 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's why I said, and I mean, I've been ever since they started talking about doing the Disney Plus stuff. I have said that is the best route to introduce Jedis that we don't know about and Sith that we don't know about. I just don't know if I would do one whole season, like 6, because here's the thing, 6 episodes to flesh out A to Z on one Jedi or one Sith is enough. You focus on that Jedi or that Sith, and you give that 6 episodes a beginning, the coming up and, whatever to a death. and or whatever you want to do. That way, people feel good about them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you do that, and by having that, you can learn a lot about a lot of different ones. You can do 6 episodes. You can while you're shooting the 6 episodes, or where you have the 6 episodes airing of Jedi, you can do the 6 episodes of Sith, or recording or filming of those, and then you can get those out and record the next Jedi, or you can do some semblance of that. And I think it works best, and then you get a wide variety of these Jedis and Sith, and then you put it in a movie. And I don't know
Well,
like I said, I don't know if I do it like a documentary or what, but I just think that there's so much there. There's a lot of scope and depth that
if
doing.
anything, right? Like I think a trilogy would be good because then the first 2 movies you can show different Sith while introducing a
Mhm.
main Sith, meaning that we're going to get a main one that goes on to the second movie, and then by the third movie we can have Yoda kill that Sith. Like, that's how Yoda can come in, and then that could lead to a show centered around Yoda.
Because we have to remember one thing, right? All these, like even Book of Boba Fett was supposed to have their own movie, right? Kenobi was
Yeah.
supposed to be a movie.
Mhm.
Right.
They were even talk about having Vader have a movie, right?
Mhm.
And all went to shit with Solo, right?
Right.
And then they
Mhm.
got Disney Plus, and now they're doing all these movies as 7 episodes. As
Right.
long as they're written correctly, they'll be fine. But let's admit it, Mandalorian, as much as we want to praise it, there were some shitty ass episodes there with the side missions. And Book of Boba Fett is the most inconsistent thing that we've seen, right? So it has to be a hell of a lot better, because we all thought, oh, Filoni and Favreau,
I don't know how much Filoni and Favreau have to do with the Book of Boba
but still,
Fett.
the fact
They
fact
have
that
a
they
lot to
gave
do with
us,
it. They created it.
yeah, the fact that they, Filoni created, Rebels and the Clone Wars, and he was, he knows his stuff, and we're getting this type of storytelling. Well, it questions, are they really, the saviors of Star Wars, right?
You know what, Guy Scar? Like I keep seeing, right, written by Jon Favreau, created by Jon Favreau. But what I think is happening behind the scenes is that he'll get to do so much, but then Kathleen Kennedy will come in and
Right.
sprinkle her stuff in. And I feel like there are things that feel more so like what Kathleen Kennedy would do as opposed to Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni, like with certain scenes, like the Power Rangers stuff, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, that's
Yeah.
got to be Kathleen Kennedy. She probably thought that was cute or something. I'm like, nah, it wasn't. That was weird. Like, what are you doing? It was out of place.
I
But
really wonder whose idea that was,
right,
because
but
that so did not feel in place.
now let's
The mod scene, those bikes.
right. I mean, let's just say for the sake of argument that she really did step back, and that was all 100% Favreau and Filoni. She was just there to essentially cough up the money and make sure that everything looks nice. Well, then I guess that would be a bigger problem than we thought, based upon, I guess, the way that Boba Fett is going, where it's kind of medium,
Right.
It's like kind of simmering, but we want something that's great, but it's not quite there yet. But I feel like waiting to see how it ends, maybe can get our hopes up, because depending on what they do in the next few episodes, maybe they'll be like, oh wow, okay, so they were leading to this. But what I want is more consistency throughout the season. I don't want us to have to wait until the last few where it gets great, because that's not how you're supposed to tell your stories. You should start off great. In the middle, you could kind of, make a little mistakes, and then your ending needs to be great too, because you got that first impression and the last impression. Those are very important points with your storytelling. So, yeah.
I think that's my point of doing like the Sith and Jedi thing on Disney Plus. Because here's the thing: right now, any talk of a trilogy, you're going to get the sequel trilogy again, because Kathleen Kennedy is going to have her hands all over. Listen, that's why we got the third one. they tried to fix everything in one, and then she came in and said, well, I want this, this, and this, and there were tons of reshoots. Unless you get her away from it, we don't have any. Listen, really, you have to have Bob Chapek, who's going to be the guy now. He's got to go in and say to Kathleen, you know what? I'm hearing all this shit that Star Wars is being ruined by you, because even though Filoni and Favreau's names are on these episodes, people believe you're messing with it. So what I want you to do is get the F out of Star Wars for a year. I want to see what these guys can do without your involvement. I want you to take your name off the credits. I don't want you to have an executive producer position on this or anything. Give me a year. I want to see what they're doing. And then if it's still trash, then you know. But until she actually steps away and says, okay, fine, people think it's my fault, I'm going to step back and you go right at it. Because here's the thing. Every indication of The Mandalorian was that she was not really around for it. The actors and actresses said that. George Lucas was pictured on the set. I heard constantly saying that she wasn't involved in that. And I thought it got better, especially in the second season. I think they got someplace with it. If she has her hands on things, you get things that don't make sense in there. And like you said, the mod bikes, the way that scene was shot, it's like there's something going on. And until she steps away from it, we won't really know if it's her or if it's Favreau or Filoni or what. So I'm just worried about getting any sort of trilogy out there, for fear that they're just gonna stink up the joint.
Okay. Alrighty. And the final topic of the night is the Incredible Hulk. Some of us like, some of us don't. But is the MCU the Incredible Hulk? Do we think we would ever see the Incredible Hulk versus the Red Hulk? We keep hearing of the Thunderbolts, and we see General Ross, and we've all said, I know I've heard some YouTubers say in the last movie where we saw him, he looks a little scrawny and sickly and weakly.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that in the comic books that he uses experiments on himself. He volunteers to take the serum that changes him to the Red Hulk. He's not gamma powered. He's some other kind of power. I think he gives off heat instead of the Hulk. And in some instances, he's just as strong. But I think eventually the Hulk gets the upper hand for its strength level. Do you think we ever see this? And if so, do you want to see this? Think it'll look cool? I think it'll look cool. I want to see it. Girl wants to go first.
I think that they're leading to with She-Hulk. There's a lot of early indications that Ross is going to play a big part of that, and that we know that with the way that he Abomination basically was their super soldier serum mixed with I forget, did he get hit with gamma or was it something else?
I don't know what's in that.
I don't know the story.
I can't remember what they showed in the Incredible Hulk, how he ended up getting past that super soldier serum.
It's not gamma power, but it got some other kind of
something
shit in it.
It was something that they did. Anyways. Okay. But anyways, I guess with She-Hulk, Ross is going to play a big part of it, and that's supposedly in that series we're supposed to get the Red Hulk, or at some point. I don't know if it'll be in the first season or if they're going to do 2 seasons and do it. But what I would do is I would do that, get the Red Hulk in it, and then graduate it to a movie, and maybe just call it Hulk again, but make it an MCU movie. You get the Incredible Hulk, Red Hulk, and She-Hulk in it, and you move it that way because they need to get a Hulk movie out. They've shown that they've done a decent job. I mean, apart from Endgame, they've done a decent job with the Hulk in a lot of different things, and I think that they could do a good movie. I mean, look what they've done with Spider-Man. I mean, He took Spider-Man and made it from really profitable to what the hell? How do we not see this much money in it? It's crazy what they did with Spider-Man. They took Spider-Man, which was on steroids, and they said, you know what? We can put more in him. we can make this a lot better.
I agree. Terrence, thoughts on this, sir?
We might see it. I don't know when, because it looks like they're setting up the Thunderbolts, but it also there's inklings of the Dark Avengers too, both of them, as far as I'm concerned. But we may get just one or the other, so more likely Thunderbolts because of Thunderbolt Ross. Um, Red Hulk is fairly new. Last time I checked, I think he came out in like 2008, so he's very new. And for all intents and purposes, the MCU hasn't been around that long when you factor in the larger scheme of things in relation to comics. So, Red Hulk would be right up their alley. And Thunderbolt Ross, he was looking small and sickly. In the comics, he had a special piece of equipment, and then he took some radiation from the Hulk. He took some stuff from the leader and MODOK too. And then he combined all that, and that transformed him into Red Hulk. But the thing is that while he's very strong, he's not as strong as standard Hulk. Like his strength does have a limit in that sense, but he's able to emit what they refer to in the comics as increasing heat. Like he can get really hot. There doesn't seem to be a limit to that unless you're able to knock him out, which requires a great deal of force. And that's because when he emits his heat, he gets really vulnerable. Like that's actually the best time to knock him out if you're really strong when he's emitting his heat. And someone like the Hulk or someone stronger than the Hulk can knock him out. So I would find that very interesting for them to explore that if they get into a fight, them going back and forth and the audience going, oh, which one's stronger? Oh no, the Red Hulk might. Oh no, the Hulk's getting him, and then he starts heating up, and then you get that reaction from the crowd, like, wait, what the fuck? Like he can get hot, and then that you could do that with the narrative and stuff. Like, oh shit, he's getting hot, and it's like infecting the environment and stuff. But then that's when Hulk just knocks his ass out, and then they would explain to you that that's his area of vulnerability. But that's how you can play that up from a story perspective. You have them seem like they're even until they show you why they are not. And I think that with Red Hulk's limitations in the comics, you can really play that up in a movie. And that Thunderbolt Ross wanting to control everything and being extremely obsessed with the Hulk and his power is that you can work that into a movie just fine. So I think that it's possible. In terms of a movie, I don't know how good of a story that would be. But because Chris was talking about No Way Home, to me, Spider-Man is a much more compelling character than the Hulk. But the Hulk is cool. I think that where you're lacking from a story perspective, you can make some really badass fight scenes between the Hulk and Red Hulk. Shit, we get some in-game kind of reactions with the two of them going at it on screen if they do it right.
Yeah, I think so too. I would definitely want to see it. Guy Scar, what you think?
You know what? I think it's leading up to it. I don't know much about the Red Hulk, but from everywhere it's hinting that they're working on something with the Hulk. I honestly believe that. I think there's a lot of, like Chris been saying, I think that Mark Ruffalo is gonna end up getting his movie, and everything with the Thunderbolts. Everything seems like they're getting that team together. So it makes sense. We know that Marvel's always been building from off one movie, off another, and building up to something. So could this be, could it be this? Could we see it in what you call it? The Secret Invasion. What is that? Secret Wars?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like it, because I guess Guy Scar, they would have to skip over a lot of story because you can't have, because it's like, okay, are they gonna do the whole Baron Zemo starts it, but then Norman Osborn was there for a little bit, but then he joined and led the Dark Avengers, and then they're gonna jump to Thunderbolt Ross. Like I don't think they're gonna do all that. I think they're gonna just jump to Thunderbolt Ross to make things flow more smoothly within how it works within the MCU. But it should be interesting though, because that whole Secret Wars stuff and all
Mhm.
that craziness with the Beyonder and everything and the heroes fighting, like that's gonna be some crazy ass shit. Like if they get that right, that will blow Infinity War and Endgame out of the water. But they
For
got to get
sure.
all their ducks in a row and knock them all out.
So, speaking about that, do you think this is where we might get Tom Holland to actually get the symbiote suit?
Probably, probably, because it would make sense. Like that would be the time to step it up, give the fans what they want to see. That is the time where you can use your X-Men, your Fantastic Four. Like that would be the time where you can use your entire roster, because not only do they have all those characters, but it calls for it like from a storytelling perspective. So you can definitely do that. And I think
Mhm.
that as they're moving forward, it's important to understand, like, while you have the trust and the brand recognition, you can't be going soft. Like you still got to remind individuals why you're the king. And
Mhm.
Secret Wars, I think, is the best way to do that. Like y'all thought Endgame and all that was fire. Now
Right.
check this out. And most people, they don't know about that. So think of like what kind of hell of a surprise that would be. That'd be insane.
I agree.
I think the reason why it's hard. I mean, Mark Ruffalo said in 2015 that he knew that Universal still owned the rights to the Incredible Hulk, and he said that's the obstacle. And when you look at it, the big five in the United States are Disney, Paramount, Sony, Universal, and Warner Brothers. But Universal's box office, and I don't know. I think this is probably last year. I'm not positive, but I'll look into it a little more at some point. Universal's alone box office was 487 million, and that was probably 2001, or I mean 21. I mean, and Disney's was only 256. I mean, Universal almost had double. So when you think of Sony, Sony is riding on Disney's coattails. So of course it makes sense for them to make that deal with Spider-Man. They're going to get more money out of it. Universal looks at it and says, we're just better sitting on it because we know you want it. So if we can sit on it,
Right.
they hold a lot more of the cards in the situation. That's why like I said, when Sony came out and said Disney, or when Disney said it was over, or Sony said it was over, when they were talking a few years back, people I was talking to said no. In fact, a guy called me that night where I get some of my information from. It called me up and says, yeah, I know they said that this is over, but he says Sony already called Disney back today and said we got to get this worked out. Sony came back to Disney even though supposedly the deal was dead, and that's how I knew, and I said it in my videos, it was going to happen. Universal's, until Disney has something that Universal really wants, I don't know if they're going to get that right to do a movie.
No,
So
I know Secret Invasion is on the way. Like
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a concern there because of the way that they have presented the scrolls in the MCU. Like those are not the warmongering, go to your planet, kill your whole family type scrolls. So I need to see what they do with that. And then based upon whatever conflict that they could present, that could build up to the Secret Wars. Because Secret Wars is all about conflict and fighting for your life and having to fight your family and friends because some supreme deity is just like, yeah, I want to see you guys fight just because I find it amusing and I need to understand the emotional depth of humanity. Like that's some crazy ass shit. So they gotta hit the marks. I think everything going forward is important. And maybe at some point we might get the Secret Wars announcement. I mean, they may not even be doing that, but I'm just saying, like, it's interesting how a lot of things are pointing towards that is all.
Well,
It
I
will be
def-
glorious.
yeah, it definitely will be. Like I said, never can tell what Mr. Feige is going to do. We all can agree that he cherry picks, and so far it's been successful for him. So, what I
Hmm.
want to see it, the Red Hulk versus Incredible Hulk, most definitely. Will I see it? I don't know.
I have hope. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, fingers crossed, man, that they would do it. I think we get introduced with the She-Hulk, how successful that is and stuff. But
Yeah, I heard they're gonna have multiple Hulks in there. She-Hulk,
Mhm.
Standard Hulk. I heard Abomination's supposed to be in there.
I would love to see Mr. Fix It. I love
Well,
Nice. Yeah.
the hope I have is that we got Shang-Chi and we got a glimpse of Abomination. That means that they're still recognizing that movie exists within the MCU.
Well, he's in
They're-
the She-Hulk series. It's
I
confirmed.
know,
Yeah.
I know that, but what I'm saying is they are trying to at least let you know, look, this is still a part of our universe, and by putting them in the movies, I don't know how they'll make it work. I just think that for all parties concerned,
multiverse.
obviously Universal can't do it because we saw the Hulk, and whether or not I like that movie or not, I like it more for the stylization than the movie itself. There's only a few moments in the Hulk or Hulk, however you just want to say it, that were decent. The Incredible Hulk, though, I think they really did a good job. In fact, they reverted it back to the way the TV series did the gamma radiation. In fact, that little crosshair, I forgot about that when they show it in the movie. That's like it was in the TV series. I think they did a really good job of putting it together.
That Hulk was also more terrifying because like even like I was explaining to humans, like the striations that Hulk had in his muscles and the Incredible Hulk and the way his face and his hair looked, like
Yeah.
he looked like he was gonna fucking rip your spine out
Yeah.
of your body. This
Mhm.
one that came with Mark Ruffalo, while he's cool and everything, he's a lot more cartoonish in the way that they present him and stuff, and he tends to get beat pretty easily. Like I don't find him as threatening or as intimidating as the one from the Incredible Hulk movie.
That's the best Hulk, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah. Like I said, it's very interesting. Like I said, I sure hope we see it. But we are, man, on the 1 hour and 2 minute mark. We're gonna go around the panel. Everyone shout out their channel if they got anything good, anything they want to let anybody know what's going on, feature streams, live streams, or anything else. Please do so at this time. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Gascar. What you got going, bro?
Well, got the hangout coming out on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So definitely stop by and check that out. And I started now streaming a game called PUBG because Warzone Ricochet is full of shit because it says the anti-cheaters blocking, which it doesn't block shit. So yeah, now playing PUBG.
All right, good deal. Terrence, what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Hey, how's it going, humans? Terrence here. My channel is T-Virus Terrence. I don't have anything planned at the moment, but I always like kind of think of things and they turn into videos or posts. I've been playing around with the face changing technology in terms of images and videos. I've been like losing my mind over that, just kind of putting myself in certain scenarios and things like what would it be if it were Terrence centric. So you'll probably get a bunch of that kind of random stuff popping up along with whatever else I happen to think of at the time. But over on my channel, there's a lot of wholesome things, a lot of random things, a lot of things that are intense as well. But either way, I feel like you can find something within my channel that'll keep you entertained. You got all kinds of playlists to help you navigate through the channel. So if you want to have a good time and your mind is open, I think that is a place that you want to visit.
Deal. And Mr. Knight, what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Got back to the gospel according to Chris. Next week, I had to spend 2 times today because the first one that came up was Mary Mayhem, and I had to talk with her first. Her schedule's kind of crazy, so I just need to make sure that I can schedule a time for her to come in. But the backup, or probably who's going to be next week, is Tim's Talk. Kylo Tim, depending on how you know him.
You sound really robotic.
Look at that screenshot that on, damn it. That was funny.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Is that better?
Yeah, you sound better.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know what happened. Something was processing or something. But Tim's Talk will be next week probably. On Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when I do those. Either this week or next week, I'll have a new rant out, or the ego will have a new rant out. I got to write this script for him, and if he doesn't like it, he rips it up, sends it back to me, and pisses on it, and he's an asshole. So whatever, that's how it goes. We'll have another gaming ego this week, probably Mario. Probably do a Knight Rider, which is where on my drive home, I just kind of talk with you guys and just shoot the shit with the chat and all that. And then Friday night, we get back to Cards Against Humanity, or whatever they want to call it, over on TWTG Content's channel. That's Chris. We do that on Friday nights. And then Sunday, of course, the Book of Boba Fett Roundtable at 7:30 and 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on Chaos Central. And at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, I have the weekly wrap-up, which is over on my channel. So lots of stuff going on. But yeah, and then, of course, tomorrow night, Anzo's show, and then Wednesday, my show. So,
quick question for you, Danny. Do you want them to just only fight like Red Hulk and Hulk, or do you want to see them team up too at some point?
I don't know, the commercial good on them teaming up, the Hulk smash, whatever. I don't really want to care about seeing that. I just want to see a really good fight between the two of those.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, last but not least, I am Danny Graham, aka Comic Chap. This is my show on the channel that you're watching now, Chaos Central. This is Chaotic Conversation every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually 4 topics, 5 people, 4 different perspectives, 4 opinions, 4 point of views. What Chris said earlier, tomorrow night we'll be on Chaos again on Chaos Central on Anzo's show, the Chaotic Chaos List. Then of course Wednesday we'll be on Chris's show on the Rule of 3. And Saturday sometimes 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a little show talking about sports. Getting into, we're gonna be down to the Final Four game, the Final Four teams. And we'll be this weekend. We should determine who will be playing in the Super Bowl next month. I think it's Super Bowl 57, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be interesting. It's either going to be Cincinnati, Kansas City, the Rams, or the 49ers.
Rams are going to take it.
So we shall see. But until then, I enjoyed it. Thank you all for coming in the panel. And we're going to catch y'all next time around. Till then, peace.
I am inevitable.